Long ago, in the flourishing village of Odio, where the sun kissed the fertile earth and rivers ran like veins of silver, there lived a man named Chief Emo, a name that meant wealth has no end true to his name. Chief Emo was the richest man the village had ever known. He owned vast lands, thousands of cattle, gold as plentiful as sand, and a mansion so grand that travellers whispered of its splendour far beyond the kingdom's borders. His barns overflowed with yams, maize, and millet, and his silo stored enough food to feed the entire village for a lifetime. Despite his fortune, Chief Emo was not known for kindness, nor for generosity. He never shared his wealth, never helped the poor, and never gave alms to the widows and orphans. Instead, he exploited the weak, took advantage of struggling farmers, and bought land at unfair prices, driving many villagers into poverty. The rich must always get richer, he often said, chuckling as he counted his gold under the glow of his ivory lamp. Little did he know, fate was preparing a lesson he would never forget. One evening, as the golden sun dipped behind the hills, casting long shadows over the village, a mysterious old traveller arrived. He was dressed in a ragged robe, his feet dusty from the long journey, and his hair as white as the clouds. He walked straight to Chief Olowemo's palace and knocked on the enormous bronze gate. The guards scoffed at the sight of the frail old man, but the traveller spoke with authority. "Tell your master that a bringer of great fortune seeks his audience," he said. Intrigued by the mention of great fortune, Chief Emo allowed the old man into his grand hall, where golden chandeliers sparkled, and servants rushed to serve the finest palm wine. The traveller, however, refused all luxuries and instead pulled out a small, glowing gemstone from his pocket. It shimmered in the dim light, its glow dancing like fireflies in the dark. "This is the jewel of endless prosperity," the traveller said. "With this in your possession, your wealth will never run dry. Every venture you touch will turn to gold, and no hardship shall ever befall you." Chief Olowemo's eyes widened in greed. "Wealth that never ends," it was the one thing he had always dreamed of. "And what is the price?" he asked. The traveller smiled, his eyes deep with mystery. "The price is simple. You must take this gemstone with humility and understand its true meaning, for if you misuse it, everything you own will be lost in an instant." The chief barely heard the last part. He reached out and snatched the gemstone from the traveller's hand, laughing in triumph. "Foolish old man, I am already the richest in the village now. I shall be the wealthiest in the entire kingdom." The traveller simply nodded. "Be careful what you wish for, Chief Emo. Not all wealth is a blessing." And with that, he disappeared into the night, as mysteriously as he had arrived. At first, everything seemed perfect. The moment Chief Emo held the gemstone, his farms flourished beyond imagination. His barns, already overflowing, became so full that farmers had to build new ones every week. His cattle multiplied, and gold poured into his treasury like a never-ending river. He became more powerful than even the king of the land, and his fame spread across the 7 villages. People traveled for miles just to catch a glimpse of the man whom the gods had favored. But with more wealth came more greed. Chief Emo became arrogant and ruthless. He doubled the rents on his lands, forcing struggling farmers to work harder for less. He seized even more land, leaving families homeless. He hoarded food, allowing it to rot rather than sharing it with the hungry. One day, an old widow approached him, weeping. "Please, my children are starving. Just a handful of grain, and I shall forever bless your name." But Chief Emo laughed and ordered his guards to chase her away. "I do not run a charity. Let her fend for herself." He scoffed. The villagers whispered among themselves. They feared him, but they also resented him. That night, the curse took root. At midnight, a great wind howled through the village, rattling doors and shaking trees. Thunder roared, and lightning split the sky, illuminating Chief Olowemo's mansion in an eerie glow. When morning came, his cattle were gone. Thousands of them vanished without a trace. His farms, with that overnight lush green fields, turned to barren dust. His gold, stored in underground vaults, turned into piles of worthless ash. His mansion cracked and crumbled, its mighty pillars reduced to rubble. The once mighty Chief Emo ran through the streets in horror, begging his workers and villagers for help, but the people only watched in silence, their eyes filled with the bitter truth. The man who had once ruled over them with greed and cruelty had nothing left. Desperate, he wandered for days, searching for the old traveler. He found him, finally, sitting beneath a towering baobab tree, looking exactly as he had on the night they first met. Please, the chief cried, take back the gemstone. Restore my wealth. The traveler looked at him with pity and said, I told you, Chief Emo, this was never about the gemstone. Wealth is a test. And you have failed. You built riches, but you destroyed people. You had abundance, but you refused to share, and so the gods have taken it all away. Tears streamed down the chief's face as he fell to his knees. What can I do? The traveler sighed. Start again this time. Build not just for yourself, but for your people. Wealth is not in gold, but in the goodwill of those around you. And with that, the traveler vanished, leaving Chief Emo alone in the dust. Chief Emo spent the rest of his life as a humble man, helping rebuild the village he once plundered. Though he never regained his former riches, he found something far greater: respect, peace, and true purpose. His story became a lesson for generations to come. Wealth is a gift, but greed is a curse. The richest man is not the one with the most gold, but the one who gives the most to others. And so, the name Emo, once a symbol of limitless fortune, became a warning for all who sought wealth without wisdom. Moral and life lessons from the story: wealth without wisdom is a curse. Chief Emo had all the riches one could desire, but he lacked wisdom, humility, and kindness. His downfall teaches us that wealth must be managed with integrity and used for the good of others, or it can disappear as quickly as it came. Greed is the root of destruction. The chief's insatiable hunger for more wealth blinded him to the needs of his people. His greed led to the suffering of others, and eventually, to his own ruin. This reminds us that chasing wealth without limits can lead to self-destruction. True prosperity comes from giving, not hoarding. The chief hoarded his wealth instead of helping those in need. In the end, the villagers refused to help him when he became poor. This shows that wealth is not about how much you have, but how much you share and how many lives you touch. Arrogance leads to a fall. Chief Emo believed he was invincible because of his riches. However, his arrogance made him ignore wisdom, warnings, and the needs of his people. Humility and gratitude are essential for lasting success. Wealth is a test, not just a blessing. The mysterious traveler warned the chief that his riches were a test. The chief failed because he used his wealth selfishly. This teaches us that money and power are tools for impact, not just personal gain. When you exploit others, you lose their support. Despite his riches, Chief Emo had no real friends. When he lost everything, no one helped him, because he had mistreated them. This shows that relationships and goodwill are more valuable than gold. Material things can disappear, but character remains. Chief Emo lost his wealth, but his greatest loss was his reputation and respect. This teaches us that who we are is more important than what we own. There's always a chance to redeem yourself. Though he lost everything, Chief Emo was given a second chance to rebuild not his fortune, but his legacy. His story teaches us that even after failure, we can learn, change, and make amends. Real success is in the well-being of your community. The chief could have been even greater if he had built his wealth in a way that uplifted his people. This reminds us that a successful person is one whose prosperity benefits not just themselves, but those around them. Everything in life comes with a cost. The gemstone seemed like a magical way to endless prosperity, but it carried a hidden cost. This teaches us that every decision has consequences, and not all shortcuts led to success. This folktale is a timeless reminder that money alone does not make a person great. What truly matters is wisdom, kindness, generosity, and the impact we leave behind. Would you have taken the gemstone? Let's discuss in the comments. Kindly share your thoughts on this story in the comment section. I will love to read them. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to click the notification button so as to be notified when I drop new story. I appreciate you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Thank you, and God bless you.